Here we go, guys. Ready? Good evening. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board designed for that purpose, and notice was transmitted to the official newspapers provided by resolution adopted January 6, 2024. The meeting notice has also been continually posted on the Borough website. May I have a roll call?
Yes, Mayor. Council President Morgan?
Here.
Councilwoman Phillips?
Here.
Councilman Otteson?
Here.
Councilwoman Russo?
Here.
Councilman Pagan?
Here.
Councilwoman Herron?
Here.
Mayor.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. We'll have public comment on agenda items only. That's public comment on any of the agenda items. Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Not seeing any public comment, we'll close that public comment portion. We'll move into caucus work session, and not seeing any items, we'll proceed right to the proclamation designated this month of October as Good Neighbors Month. I do not see anybody here to accept this proclamation, but I will read it. The proclamation states, whereas the incomparable services which Good Neighbors has rendered in the past have earned their respect, appreciation, and admiration of the residents of Haddon Heights and the countless individuals and families they have served, and whereas this volunteer organization provides financial assistance to Haddon Heights residents on a short-term emergency basis, and whereas the financial operation of Good Neighbors is funded entirely through contributions and the volunteers who give unselfishly of their time and talents. And whereas the governing body of the Borough of Haddon Heights encourages every resident to give as generously as they are able to this most deserving organization. Now, therefore, I, Zachary Hauk, Mayor of the Borough of Haddon Heights, and Borough Council do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as Good Neighbors Month. Just to highlight the work that Good Neighbors do, this is an organization that truly helps the residents of Haddon Heights. And that's what they were designed for. And they work closely with the police department, the ladies here, Borough Hall, to work on making sure that any donations, any money that comes in goes to those that are really in need. And again, I can tell you through the pandemic, they were honestly a blessing. They took care of so many people and really helped them get them back on their feet or temporarily situated. So again, I cannot praise this organization enough. It's one of my favorite organizations here in Haddon Heights. I tell you to look, if you're ever interested in donating, they're a great organization. You can find information on them on our Borough website. So with that, next we'll move with the approval of the minutes of the September 17th, 2024 business meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 17th, 2024 business meeting?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Pagan. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Phillips. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? An abstention by Councilman Harron.
I'll abstain on the October 1st.
You'll be, yep, I'll do them separately. Next, may I have a motion for the approval of the October 1st, 2024 work session minutes?
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilman Pagan. May I have a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Harron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? An abstention by Council President Morgan. And an abstention by Councilman Russo. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the executive session minutes of the August 7th, 2024 work session. May I have a motion for the approval of the executive session minutes from the August 7th, 2024 work session? Motion by Councilman Otteson,
Phillips, second.
seconded by Councilwoman Phillips. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Councilwoman, an abstention by Councilwoman Russo. Next, we have council members' reports. I'll start with Councilwoman Herron.
Things are moving forward after receiving bids from the RFP that was submitted on the athletic field maintenance agreements. So we're looking forward to an adoption of vendors for the purposes of ground maintenance, irrigation maintenance, and lawn care services. Our upcoming holiday parade will be planned for Friday, November 29th. It's the day after Thanksgiving. We have done a good amount of outreach to organizations and members of the community for participation, and starting to see a good amount coming in. So plans are moving forward and things are going well.
Wonderful. Councilwoman Russo.
Sure, thanks, Mayor. Just a couple things from the engineering committee. So I think everybody's aware that the Kings Highway construction has commenced. We have started and we have some road detours in play. Definitely encourage everybody to continuously visit our website, which will actually redirect you to the project's website. And then take particular notice, because at the bottom of that website, there's a section where you can fill in your email to get email blast updates as well. So that's something we'll be pushing out as well, but wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that. I actually just signed up for it this week. Other than that, we also had the kickoff meeting for the Missing Sidewalks project. So what that means is that we are under contract, everything is funded, and we are progressing. One of the first steps in that project will be survey. So there will be folks out surveying for the design that they'll need for the missing sidewalks. And as we approach Halloween, that's a night where I think having connected sidewalks and having those additional connections will really make a difference to our residents and neighbors. So I'm excited about that project progressing. With that, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Russo. Councilman Otteson.
Okay. On the Environmental Commission side, congratulations to Sustainable Haddon Heights, especially Dave McCullum and Marshall Hatfield. We obtained the bronze designation award for the year. They worked hard to put a lot of paperwork together and submit it. There are 83% of municipalities in the state are part of the program, and only 30% earn an award such as that. There's going to be an event in Atlantic City on 11/19 at 10:30 to 1:45. So Mayor is invited, and Kelly's invited if you want to attend. So we just need to know. And I know they did a great job with that. And on the Devon Avenue project, we just have a resolution to pay T&M. Once we get them paid, they'll answer the final questions so we can get a reply on the DEP grant we've been tracking down for a couple of years. And we do need to add additional members to both committees, Sustainable Haddon Heights and Environmental Commission. We're running low on members that are active. So put the word out if anybody's interested in that. We could sure use them. On the shade tree side, we had a meeting today online for tree inventory training for the software system that we have. And the CFO is getting he got quotes for adding additional users so we can each person that inventories trees can probably do it on an iPad and submit the data at the same time. But it's pretty expensive, so we've got to figure out when we want to do it. There's a grant application that may help us out with that. And the submission is due by the end of the year. Julie sent out notices to residents where we plan on planting trees, mostly on the west side. She's gotten responses, so the next step is to put the door knockers on. We plan on doing 70 trees for the fall, winter planting. So we should be able to get those ordered and planted probably in early December, late November. I'm a little disappointed on the west side. We planted a lot of trees, and the residents have taken very poor care of them. They haven't watered or cared for them. So we've lost some of the tree stock that we hope to grow, and I hope they do better in the future. And Howard and I have been working on a tree protection ordinance that we should be able to bring to the next meeting for review. And then we jump over to construction. Permits are pretty steady. In the beginning of the year, we had more permit fees from all the plumbing work I think that Pioneer was doing. But for the year, we have $139,146 in permit fees. So we're doing pretty good with that. And then with police, this month they had 788,029 total fleet mileage, 1,042 calls for service, 14 arrests and charges, 16 accidents, and 123 motor vehicle summonses were issued. And then I guess there'll be accommodation that the chief will probably bring next time for the event that happened at the ShopRite. So we'll post that next time. We did meet with them briefly today, and we looked at the remediation event and their office and space, and it really needs to be fixed up in a hurry because it's a mess. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Otteson. Council President Morgan?
Thank you, Mayor. As I think you can all see in front of you, you have the audit from Bowman and Company. I attended a meeting with our CFO and our auditor last weekend, the exit meeting. That went well. No significant issues that we need to be concerned about. Everything went well, and hopefully we'll continue on a good pace for next year as well. Tomorrow we're going to be meeting with some representatives from Audubon to move forward towards hopefully finalizing the renewal of the SSA for the DPW to extend that beyond its current lifetime. So, other than that, that's about it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Council President. Councilwoman Phillips.
Thank you, Mayor.
Done that- I haven't done that in a while. That's
I don't even know anymore. I wouldn't mind being Councilwoman Russo. So you're welcome. Just to piggyback on the police report, there is going to be a REC night, which stands for Recognize, Educate, and Change, hosted by the Police Department and the Camden County Prosecutor's Office. That's going to be November 8th at the high school from 5 to 8 p.m. There's going to be games, activities, snacks, refreshments, and all ages are welcome to attend. I believe that's the first time this is being done, right, Chief?
Correct. And the prosecutor's office is actually going around to a lot of local towns, and they're just trying to connect with either students, any ages on Friday nights.
Awesome. Well, that should be a fun night, so I would encourage everyone to go.
What night was that again?
That's going to be November 8th at the high school from 5 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, we'll put out, once we get like a flyer, we'll post it on the borough website, on Facebook.
Okay. We'll share that on social media and we'll put it on the website. Thank you, Chief. And then for the fire department report, we have the report from Chief Hales for September. There were 27 calls in Haddon Heights, 24 in Barrington, 8 to mutual aid, 4 to the highway for a total of 63 calls, averaging 5 firefighters per call, with 30 of those calls being career staff. So that's continuing to go well. We actually, Councilman Otteson and I met with the union representatives for the fire department this morning to start talking about the new contract, which is hard to believe because I feel like we were just negotiating the last contract, but here we are. So everything went well. It was just a conceptual meeting. We have another meeting on the books in 2 weeks, and we don't foresee any significant issues that caused delays in prior years with respect to getting the fire department under contract. So we do think everything's going very well with our career staff and with the shared service with Barrington, and we thank everybody for their hard work. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Phillips. Councilman Fagan?
Nothing to report, Mayor.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Mayor's report. So I'll just accolades to Haddon Heights neighbors, different than the one tonight that I spoke about in the proclamation. But Haddon Heights Neighbors hosted their annual spaghetti dinner, which is a fundraiser that they run every year. Huge turnout. A lot of young families were in attendance, which is great to see for that event. So just accolades to all of the volunteers with Haddon Heights Neighbors. They did a phenomenal job as always. And also just want to give a shout out to HIP for their work with Sip It On Station, another really, really well attended event despite it being raining for I think like the third or fourth year in a row. But again, HIP and the volunteers there, again, put on a great show, a great event in our downtown, which is great because we attract a lot of people, not necessarily just our residents, a lot of people from out of town, which is great. And finally, I will echo Councilman Ottison's concerns about the need for volunteers. This town runs on volunteers. All of our committees, our boards are run by volunteers. And so I encourage people that are interested in volunteering to submit a letter, either a simple email, reach out. There's a form that you can submit as well on the borough website if you're interested in volunteering for any of our boards, our commissions. We typically do those appointments right after the first of the year. So,
Elected officials volunteers too, right?
yeah. Elected.
All you elected officials?
All elected officials are volunteers. Yeah.
Nice of you, thank you. Appreciate it.
What else? All right, so, and that's it for the mayor's report. Yeah. Unfinished business. We've got a public hearing and final adoption of bond ordinance 2024-1556 is tonight, authorizing the completion of various capital improvements to the Borough of Haddon Heights, County of Camden, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $1,068,700. Therefore, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bond and bond anticipation notes, Borough of Haddon Heights, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $1,015,265, making certain determinations and covenants and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. May I have a motion to open the public hearing portion of bond ordinance 2024-1556?
So moved?
Motion by Councilman Pagan. May I have a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Russo. All those in favor? Any opposed or abstained? Thank you. The public hearing portion of bond ordinance 2024-1556 is now open. Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Not seeing any public comment. Well, can I have a motion to close the public hearing portion of bond ordinance 2024-1556?
So moved?
Motion by Councilman Pagan. May I have a second?
Phillips, second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Phillips. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Thank you. Now may I have a motion to adopt bond ordinance 2024-1556, please?
So moved?
Motion by Councilman Pagan. May I have a second? Second by Council President Morgan. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Ottoson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Herring.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving into new business, we have introduction of ordinance 2024-1557, ordinance of the Borough of Haddon Heights, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, creating a claimant certification exemption. Public hearing and final adoption of ordinance 2024-1557 is scheduled for Wednesday, November 6th, 2024 at approximately 7 p.m. Municipal building located here at 625 Station Avenue. Just to point out, that is a Wednesday meeting because of Election Day, which is first Tuesday in November. May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2024-1557?
So moved?
Motion by Councilman Pagan. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Ottoson. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Council President Morgan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Ottoson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo,
Yes.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haran.
Yes.
Thank you. Again, final adoption of ordinance 2024-1557 is scheduled for our next meeting in November, which is November 6th, which is a Wednesday, 7 p.m. here in the borough. Resolution, next, may I have motions for resolutions 2024-194, resolution regarding receipt and review of the 2023 annual audit. Resolution 2024-195, resolution authorizing a refund of the community center rental fee. Resolution 2024-196, a resolution authorizing payment and bills and claims for the second half of October. Resolution 2024-197, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of NJ Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12. 1, matter related to personnel in the police department. 2, matter related to negotiations regarding the SSA with Audubon and for the public work services. Discussion is expected to be about a half hour in duration. Formal action may be taken on the foregoing matters following executive session. And finally, resolution 2024-198, 198, resolution authorizing the award of contractual services to T&M Associates as licensed site remediation professionals, LSRP, for both LSRP services and project file review. May I have a motion for those resolutions, please?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Pagan. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Russo. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Council President Morgan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Otteson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Pagan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harron?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'll open it up for public comment. That's public comment on anything at all. All right, not seeing any public comment. We'll close the public comment portion and we will recess into the executive session, which I am going to
Motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
No formal action to be taken here, so can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.